We are out here at Riley Powersports, fresh location in Haslett, Texas. So excited to be here. Shout out to Riley, beautiful bastard over there. Very successful salesman and business owner, entrepreneur. And then out here we got another awesome entrepreneur that just drove in from Denver. Dan, now he's a dad. I don't know about an entrepreneur. Are you a business owner?
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah, he will be soon.
There we go. Danzy merchandise coming soon. But Cynical Productions in-house at Riley Powersports today. Drove 10 or 11 hours to be here. 12 hours to be here. Drove 12 hours to be here.
There's some snow, so it was like 15 hours. But we're here.
Right? Thankful.
Yeah.
Behind us, we have his beautiful bike that apparently may have been crashed earlier today. So, what is the story? Oh,
right now. We'll talk about it later, but we won't.
Okay. Well, no. Now it's a hot topic.
Oh man.
We haven't even said out of the tire smoke, man.
What did I do?
We haven't even said the name of the podcast coming in.
Oh, dude! After that whole intro, you had a little criticism. You're like my ex-girlfriend right now. You did perfect, but the ending wasn't right. So, out of the tire smoke. Happy to be here. Podcast 1 of 1 is January 6th, 2024. Sounds weird to say. We're getting old.
We are getting old.
Yeah.
You guys are getting old. I'm still young.
Yeah.
How old are you?
Still young.
How old is that? Yeah, 12. He's this many, okay? How old are you, Danzy? Because that's an important question that people
25.
25.
Instead of interviewing me, we should interview him.
Right? Old man
When's the
versus
new
young
tricks
man.
coming? That's what I want to know. New year, new you. Let's go.
Shoot.
No, I'm just
You saw
kidding.
how I went earlier at the lot.
I didn't. I wasn't there, so fill me in.
Fair enough. But speaking of earlier at the lot, I guess it is a good time to get into that
Oh.
little oopsie that we had.
So what we did a Frogger scrape and then Frogger to spreader scrape, and then the bike was going way too slow, so I hopped off of it. I spreader scraped, and I brought it back. But when I came back to the bike, it was doing a little loop-de-loo, jumped right off, almost hit Ashton. It's pretty sweet. Got a good video of it if you can edit that in.
Insert that, yeah, production team here.
Yeah.
Who does not have their phone on silent? Just kidding, yeah.
And since Evan is definitely more knowledgeable on the drifting side of things, do you want to explain like what a frogger is that way?
Oh, Frogger, you're on your tank in the kneeling position. So you're like this, and then you jump to spreader, and your spreader is like this. Oh, I'm old. That hurts.
I have a serious question. Do you do yoga?
No.
Like, I watch some study videos, and as a guy that's getting further from being in shape, I watch this shit, and I'm like, this... I watch Paul so hard, like throw his leg up over. I'd pull a hammy. I don't even know where my hammy is, but I'd pull it.
No holes
in that moment. Yeah. You said what?
Let's hope there's no holes in the jeans
I've gained
for the
like
camera.
20 pounds, so this.
Or else we might be uploading this to a different website.
OnlyFans coming soon. Pays more. Oh man. Well, never mind. I almost want to make a reference, but it's fresh on social media. Oh, never mind. Later I'll talk about that. So you're doing a Frogger. I imagine you're very like flexible. Like,
Yeah,
you gotta be in shape to do that.
When you're on the bike, it's way more
wind.
comfortable. You can just put your feet in the air, so you're like.
Oh, so when you're on a wheelie, like
Yeah,
damn near at the face of death, it's easier to do stretchable
It's way
things.
easier. It's easier to bring the bike back and have your legs pointing at the sky versus doing it on the couch right now. Because you're.
See, I tried to do that in my bedroom
I'm-
by myself watching YouTube, and it doesn't look attractive. I just look like I'm failing.
But no, I
Yeah.
don't stretch. Well, I stretch a little bit. No yoga. I mean, it hurts. Like I said, I gained like 20 pounds. I think I said 10 earlier, but so like
It
getting
just
your
keeps going
leg
up.
through. I'm
Doesn't
like,
the camera add more? So in reality, you're still like -10.
Yeah, no, I'm looking good. About to
Yeah.
turn 22.
To his point, whenever you're sitting on the bike, you're not actually going vertical with it. Like if you were sitting down and you're just kicking straight forward.
You know what's cooler about cars? You can get fat and out of shape. There's plenty of like
Clutch
heavy
kick,
set
get
successful
sideways.
drivers. You can totally have a belly. You just get a bucket seat that's further back.
Just gotta worry about your gut hitting the steering wheel.
No, not even. You just mount it further back. See, it's avoidable. Plenty of successful like overweight guys, but not in stunting.
No. Well,
There's a couple out there.
yeah.
What's
You just can't do as many tricks.
so they're the
Yeah,
real talented
definitely
guys.
limits you a little bit, for sure.
There was that guy at the Grom giveaway that I mean, respectfully, he was a bigger dude,
Yeah.
and he went down, but he was a champion on getting back.
Oh,
up.
he was killing it. He was persistent.
Yeah, he wrecked.
Respectfully,
broke his
he was
foot,
a bigger dude.
and then all the homies that rode with him made him drive
Oh
home.
my gosh!
Oh, man.
I don't know if you call them homies. Like, hey, I
Yeah.
noticed that's your braking foot. Do you really need that? Like,
Yeah.
I really need to take this nap. Can you hobble your way back to the car so we can start driving home?
Yeah, he was killing it though. Props to him though, for real.
I heard you used to have a drift car though. What's up with that?
Yeah, E36. We did an angle kit. 391 in the back. Lowered it. You see coilovers.
That's my
It
language.
ran like crap.
That's normally how drift goes.
I spent a lot of money, tires, and I didn't stick with it, honestly, and it just sat for a while. I didn't put in the seat time on the wheel. I guess it's wheel time. Is it wheel time? Is it seat time?
They still call it seat time.
Yeah, it's seat time. I mean, it was fun. We'd go to the lot mostly. We had a track down the street from my house. I don't know why. We didn't want to spend $100 and go and like learn more, but we go to the lot, and I think I was more paranoid of losing my license and not being able to travel, not being able to go to events. So
Shout out to your takeover friends, because they're fucking retards. I know they're supposed to be YouTubeable, but those guys are not. That's just straight.
yeah, that's the truth.
Yeah.
But there's
They're
screwing everyone.
chromosome
Oh yeah,
over.
100%.
I mean,
we got the task
We're,
force.
Sorry, this
we're
is
tied in with
mean.
them in the bike scene, so also.
No, it's way different. Respectfully, it is way
but
different.
the cops don't see it that way. They
Yeah.
see
But that's a very
takeovers,
limited
motorcycles.
perspective.
These guys are running from us. Let's go after them.
Yeah, we just
That is
kinda
literally
got
one
looped into
person's
it.
perspective. Well, I guess the news kind of engulfs it all together there. But it's like, there's something about takeovers that there's zero talent there. That's like some kid in his dad's car. There's zero talent, zero discipline, zero investment in the sport, zero investment in like controlled seat time, zero investment in lot time. Those are just like literal kids trying to make a viral TikTok video, and then people just lose their ankle in the making of. You would never see that at a Lone Star Drift event
Facts.
or Urban Racing or Monday Night Madness or Slide and Shine, like any of those events that we do. Like, there's literally, if one person gets hurt, they're not getting the video again. Those are like talentless, worthless human beings.
Well, I feel like it's the same thing with the bike scene too. You see, like, the public sees them doing that, and then they just cast a shadow and look at the entire drift scene poorly, as opposed to just those dudes. And then you have guys that are blasting pow-pows on bikes and wrecking, and then that's
With
how the
bikes,
public
there's
sees
more
that.
self-responsibility. With a bike, you crash it, and like you're gonna get messed up. But you can be in a stock Camaro that's automatic you just got from Enterprise Rental Car or stole from a parking lot and just trash a group of like 16-year-olds. Change their
and
future.
The video's going viral, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, now there's so many of them. Do they go viral? Because it's just like, it's what you expect.
Evan's
you
almost
don't-
as heated as he is if you talk about Waffle House.
Yeah, whoa! Don't bring up the Waffle House, dude.
Don't
We're going
get
on a field trip
started.
after this.
Oh man.
The only one that goes viral in my mind is like that kid from Austin or Houston or whatever, South Texas, like blew his hand off with a firecracker, fire something.
I just
some
like
sort
the
of
videos
firework.
with
Waffle
it.
House?
What's up?
A Waffle House?
No one gets hurt at a Waffle House. Everybody leaves happy and healthy.
I like the videos where they walk out and they're filming, and then the car just smokes them, runs them over, drives over them, backs up, runs them over again, then drives off, starts doing burnouts.
You're showing Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
No, the
That's
best
the
one
best.
is when the driver doesn't even realize it, in
Oh,
my
yeah.
opinion, and it
Pants
just
get
happens,
ripped
and they're
off.
like continuing to drive, and you're like, someone's life just dramatically changed, and their parents are gonna be so pissed to hear this story. But that guy with a stock Mustang has no idea, and he's still like, yeah, they're recording. Heck yeah.
There's a viral video in Colorado, and these girls were hanging out of the car. I don't know if you saw it, but they were in a parking lot. Girl put in reverse, started doing a 180 in reverse.
The Honda SUV?
The car.
All the
And
people
supposedly
outside,
Nobody died.
but they're all in critical condition. I do know it. There was like a Honda crossover,
Yeah.
and the driver's the only one that didn't get hurt. All of them were in like life-threatening. Yes, it like rolled on both sides, so like all angles of girls outside the vehicle.
Yeah.
I'm not like smiling at that. That's
It
just
was bad.
that's insanity,
It was
stupidity, and that is like end of the world apocalyptic shit happening.
But everyone's so numb on Instagram, Facebook. Everyone posts it and laughs at it, and they're like, "Look at these idiots." But that's the society we live in these days. These people might have died, and they think it's a joke. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I feel bad in a way, but that's just how the world's going. It's pretty shitty.
So how'd you start Cynical Productions?
Anyway.
No shit, right? We did a group prayer
Hey, but
before
it's not
this.
that negative.
No.
Don't be so cynical, bro.
Jeez.
Yeah.
But,
Is that a proper word choice? I don't even know if I used that properly. I'm sorry.
Sure.
When did you start doing Cynical, and then how did you come up with the name? What got you into it?
I think we LLC did it in 2020. We did it for like a year before. Was it 2020? I don't know. Yeah, 2020. This is the 4th year.
Okay.
So we made vinyl shirts before that. Just went to rides, had fun, grabbed some Kareless stickers because you were always at all the rides. What, we were
Spanning
at
the world.
SBK and you're on the
I
highway.
was gonna bring that up, dude. SBK.
I'm like,
yeah.
these guys are nuts. Who is Kareless? And why are they in a van on the highway in the middle of the pack? I was like, what in the world? But 4 years later, we've been doing it. It's been going good. It's just having fun, trying to put out more media, put out good products.
Yeah, your media skills have definitely leveled up in the time that I've known you for about 2 years now, and it's definitely increased just in that little time frame.
Travel and be at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
And
So did it just get started just as like a way to fund the traveling to hang out with the homies?
100%. I wanted to. You watch the videos on YouTube, and I wanted to figure out a way to go to the rides and be in the rides and meet the people and the people that we looked up to. I mean, like back in the day, it was the Street Fighters. He probably doesn't know the Street Fighters, but you look at like Sit Down Steve and Guru Stunts, and you see these guys tearing up the streets in St. Louis, just destroying it. The cops don't even know what to do. They're chasing after them. They're going they're going the wrong way up. On ramps to run from the cops, and I'm like, man, I want to do this.
Oh, dude, one of the
This is
craziest videos that I
awesome.
still do to this day of like crazy video I've seen is whenever Steve made that clip with the VHS tape where they took the front end off of his bike and he rode his bike all around St. Louis, hitting combos with no forks, no wheel, no nothing on the front end.
I have to watch that clip. I definitely know the Street Fighters because I remember they always had they had all the attraction, right? The bus and the trailer and the speakers and
they set the
all that
bar
awesome
so
stuff.
high
Oh, yeah.
back in the day, and now people come through and they think they're doing like all these cool new tricks, but those dudes were doing it back in the day. No handbrake tricks and
Junction
high
valves.
chairs and
Before I
just
really
nuts.
understood stuff, right? I was mad into Patrick Stevens because it like was always sold as like Texas rider in like Dallas and Fort Worth, and that's like I'm not into traditional sports, but like how people get hyped about their home team. I always felt that with Patrick. I was like, what a badass.
Yeah, and I felt like I missed out because I didn't know about Patrick Stevens until the day he died. I'd never even.
I was literally like 12 years old. There was I think it was called Stump Bite magazine, and they always had hot chicks in the center. And I'd like, as a perverted little child, get the magazine for the inserts. And like one time they had this DVD that was like promo DVD, Patrick Stevens, local stunt rider. Still have that to this day. And yeah, I don't know. It was always insane that like someone so cool was in my hometown. So. Before I knew Street Fighters, like Patrick Stevens was always on the radar, and then get to work with him was awesome. And then unfortunately, he passed.
So what's with all the traveling and stuff all over the country? What's the craziest travel story like while you're on the road to the event, and then craziest event that you've been at?
Craziest event I went to was probably ESR. Honestly, it was like the first year they did it when it was at the hotel room and everyone was getting on the roof, and it was just a really fun time. Like everyone was vibing. It was we took over a hotel.
What year was that? Because we were there, but I can't remember. It was like 2019.
It was the year before I started stunt riding because I heard all about it.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that hotel like had no idea? Like, hey, there's an event there this weekend.
What's crazy is there was a hurricane on the way, and so whenever everyone was stomping on the roof, the guests that were in the lobby supposedly were like, "Oh my God, is that the hurricane? Did it hit?"
I don't remember.
And that's what they were thinking about.
Yeah,
I do remember that was like it was like a 10-story hotel. It was pretty tall, and they had like the parking lot next to it, and they had like the hotel
parking lot. They rented out the parking lot, and you could do wheelies in the parking lot. We had all the vendors in the parking lot.
Were you vendor that year, or were you just driving or riding?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was in the corner. I was nobody. They had all the.
We all started.
They were like, yeah, you can be a vendor. You go over there, back over the corner.
Don't start doing indoor car shows. They put you under like the flickering light by the bathrooms in the back.
No, it was cool. I got to be I was with you. I got to be a vendor at ROC, and that was always a goal.
ROC.
You pulled up to St. Louis that year, and you were setting up a tent right there.
We're on like the corner.
Yeah, you're in the corner,
yeah.
and that was always a goal. So I was like, man, that was the last ROC. I got to be a vendor. That was a good year.
You took care of us in. I almost said Florida. Gosh, you took care of us in Chicago though. Yeah, you really got us set up for success. So shout out to that, man. Lean back, shark. And I think it was you that kind of reiterated, like, yo, if the cops come around, we're taking donations.
Yeah, we're taking donations.
Yeah, so you talk about crazy travel stories, and I experienced that with you because I watched the guy in like the yellow trench coat, looking like a boss, hit every vendor, and he walked by him, and you were smiling when he walked off, and I was like, all right.
Yeah,
go to the script, Evan.
He walked up and he's like, "What's going on here?" And I go, "Yeah, we're taking donations." He goes, "What? That's not what I asked you." I was like, "Yeah, oh, what? What's up? What's up?"
Evan had to have it written on his hand.
Yeah, right?
Taking donations, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Taking donations.
Yeah, it was raining. We didn't know what was going on that day.
He didn't know what was going on, but it's funny when he came over to me. He's like, "Yeah, I've heard that so far." I'm like, "Oh, yeah." Church of Kareless, baby, we're out here.
Wildest ride or like what?
Like while you're on the road, like on the way to
the road journey.
Did the bikes fly off the trailer, or
I feel like there's a specific.
Oh yeah. I came back from Albuquerque one time and I had one of those dirt bike haulers, and I was passing a semi and I looked in the mirror and I saw sparks, and my old Cowie, was hanging on by the cages, and I had to fly off the road, and it literally, the straps all broke, and it was just dragging, and the cage was hooked into the dirt bike hauler, and I was dragging it on the highway, and it, like, all the way through the puck, all the way down the metal. I was like, yo!
And
How did it do? Like, what was the condition after?
It was fine. Shockingly, it was fine.
This is the same Cowie that got smoked by the ghost bike, right?
Yeah, that was the same Cowie.
So now that we've kind of looped back around, why don't you explain that whole story for everyone?
Yeah, insert the clip here. I was just coming
Producer.
up to yeah, can you put a clip in? Roll the clip.
Hey, Jamie.
The
for all you
bike's
JRE fans,
coming
yeah.
up. The bike's coming up. I was literally just rolling up to a stoplight. Had no idea, and apparently, one of the homies in Cali was ghost riding, where you stand on the tank, or Christ airing. I think it's Christ
surfing, Christ airing,
whatever you want to call it. And he fell off his bike.
Oh, so it was a legit ghost bike.
Yeah. He fell off.
Fell
And
off the bike with the idle turned up.
The bike probably went 50 feet, and when you have the idle turned up, it increases speed as it goes. So it was probably doing like 40 miles an hour, and it came up from behind and hit the subcage and bent the subcage. I'll send you pictures of my bike afterwards. You can enter them here. But it bent the subcage, tweaked the whole back of the bike, and it was like, I don't know, man. It was literally, if it wouldn't have hit the subcage, it would have taken my leg off.
How was your body after that?
I was in shock. I jumped up and I was like, what?
Yeah,
in the world?
I feel like that
hate-
always happens. People jump up and you're like, you need to fucking lay down.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Well, so-
monetize.
yeah.
But you need to lay the heck
Well,
down.
I hate that it happened to him, but in the video, you see Keith jump up, and he's like, who just did that? Like, ready to, like, you see him, like, ready
I
to
had no
fight,
idea it
and
happened
then
so fast.
he's looking around, and there's 2 bikes on the ground, but he's the only rider.
My
Then
bike-
there's some
everyone
guy like
else
from the
is-
back row, like,
and there's a
guys,
guy-
don't leave
Yeah,
me
pretty
happy."
much running. Well, and the other thing is, we had just passed we were in Phoenix, and they don't play. We had just passed like 2 cops back to back, and they were kind of watching the ride. So in my head, I'm like, oh, my bike's down, and these cops are about to roll up to this stoplight, and I'm not trying to sit at the stoplight and get in trouble. So I'm looking around, and I'm like, all right, we'll get this bike up, and let's go.
And luckily, you got
And
the
it
dude
like-
doing the 100-yard dash.
It was like pissing gas out of the tank. There
Yours
was
or
gas-
his?
Mine. There's a gash in the
shit.
tank. Yeah, it was pretty beat up. The tank was all dented in. So it hit me from this side. The bike flew and then it smashed into the curb. It hit a guy in front of me and then knocked him off, and then the bike's like pancaked into the curb. And it was pretty bad. And I just stood up and rode it off. It was running still. It's like, let's go. Let's get out of here. It was,
Those dinosaurs, man, and sometimes they're just so hard to kill.
Why do you say dinosaurs? Like an older
they're
bike?
old.
It's 2024, so now officially all 0304s are 20 years old.
Dinosaur.
Yeah.
You're risking our lives riding.
Still,
buddies.
if you ask 90% of the community, it's the best bike in the stunt game.
Definitely.
Why are they not as good now? Like, what changed?
They're just old. The parts wear out.
Parts.
My bad. No,
parts
that
availability.
makes sense. Like,
Yeah,
you're always
so-
driving 350 gaskets and things right
Yeah.
But why are the new bikes? Why is it
They're
2024?
reliable and they're lighter.
Yeah, reliable, and
Everything's
I feel like
changed.
the power delivery is also more desirable so like the 0304 is a little bit smoother. I ride a 19 plus. The 19 pluses are a little bit more twitchy.
Yeah, they have more power.
They
Is it
definitely
like cars
hold-
technology bites you in the butt? It's like with cars, like with new BMWs, they have so many sensors. It's like when you put a car into drift, it's like the car freaks out because like, oh, this is something. The car essentially panics and tries to correct you. So even if you were to go in a brand new BMW and have a very talented drifter, they could not drift the car because the car is literally fighting everything you want.
Yeah,
Versus like in a 1990s, early 2000s, you could like rip the BMW car just like and doing its thing.
Yeah.
So is it kind of the same thing with bikes where it's like the technology is caught up to where they want to make it safer, but then it kind of like deletes this from being a.
I mean, they have like ABS sensors.
I was gonna say what's the beautiful thing about the bikes is usually all you gotta do is yank the
Pull
seat
the
off and
fuse.
then pull a couple fuses and you're ready to rip. It
the
unlocks
brakes go back to
everything.
normal. And you
See,
can-
cars are messed up with tunes. Like everything's tuned and.
Yeah, and everyone tunes the MTs nowadays. I run mine stock.
Well, they also do the flash. Like my 636 is flashed.
What's that mean?
So they reprogram the ECU so that it runs at higher idle, lower idle, whatever you want it to do.
So
you're what's just
They'll
trying to
flash.
environment?
They'll tune the
You're burning
MTs
down the
and FCs.
rainforest?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
good.
much.
They make it so
Let's
the
just say
fans
they're not
come in
welcome in
different
California.
times.
Nothing's welcome in California.
I'm
Unless you're
definitely
trying to
not.
rob a CVS. Like, no, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Takeovers
Governor's
are
like,
welcome.
yeah, bring it on. Yeah. It's like, hey,
love
just
their
don't
takeovers.
shoot a cop, you know?
Yeah.
Not permitting that.
Yeah, the biggest tune with like the R7s and FZs is to mitigate, lower the engine brake so it like floats a little bit more. There's different things you can do with each bike, and each like the newer bikes, people got to play with them a little bit more and like figure out what's wrong with them that we can change.
What's the most ideal stunt bike for y'all? Because like the 350Z or the Corvette right now is iconic.
Yeah,
You're trying to get
everyone
into
wants
drifting.
Yeah, I thought the
C-type.
E36 was.
It's hard to find parts for it now. Like Hypebeast have destroyed that, like where everybody thinks they're like a show car and not a drift car.
Yeah.
Versus like 350Z isn't the ideal show car. So like everybody's just turning them into drift missiles, and like BMWs now it's like it's an etiquette thing. They
What's
drink with their
the-
pinky out.
The
type deal.
Infinity is
G35?
Yeah, everyone wants that too.
I want a G35 sedan so bad.
I know the sedan. I
Four
don't know
door.
why.
Yeah.
I love
Oh
the
my
sedan.
gosh! Come on now.
The four doors. I was a
Dude.
sucker for it. I love it.
Yeah, for sure. But if they're all autos, you
The
gotta get
IS
a manual.
300. I wanted an IS 300.
Those
so
are
bad, but they're
cool.
expensive.
Yeah.
I
They're
just out of my
taxed.
budget. I can't. I know tax.
Tax.
The drift tax kills you, man.
So, did we talk about your drift car yet, or did we just talk
Yeah, we
about
talked
it
about
briefly
it
earlier
It was
at
fun.
off
It had a
mic?
purple seat.
Had a purple seat.
That was the coolest part.
It had a purple seat. That's all you need to know. It,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
killed tires and had a purple seat.
It was fun. Bike wise though, what's the bike? I think everyone's going to the R7 nowadays. If you can't bunny hop in R7, you're not a real stunt rider.
I was just saying that the other day. Actually, I've never said that a day in my life.
I
newer
prefer
bikes-
I prefer the 4 cylinders. I prefer the 636. I have both, but I have more fun on the 636.
Yeah, I went probably a year and rode the two-cylinder MT-07, and I just got so lazy. That's where I gained all this weight.
Yeah,
I
we
wasn't
about had to
doing
make him-
anything.
Everyone was trying to make him change his name because his
Yeah.
Instagram name is KAWIKEITH, but all he rode was a Yamaha
Yeah, so it's
FZ07,
Yamasaki.
MT-07.
I was in the comments. I was like, poser. Who is this guy?
Oh, he just no-handers. That's cool. Real original.
Yeah, sit down scrapes and no-handers.
That's all you got? Like, hold on. Let me dust off the Cowie.
Dang.
See if we still got this.
I believe in you.
And we learned today that we're a little
Doesn't
rusty.
Back to the drawing board.
When are you getting a Harley? Because it seems like
Oh,
everybody has
God.
one of those right
That's
now.
like the Corvette. Man. Can't afford it.
I was just thinking because
Yeah.
we're all getting old. Because like I never thought a Corvette was a cool car, and now
I
I'm
don't
in my
have
early
a-
30s, and I'm like, they're not that bad.
I gotta gain like 10 more pounds and get more tattoos.
You gotta get the flames going up the wrist, you know. These
Yeah,
days,
I feel like for this
you
video-
got, you got the Vans on. You just need the flannel.
ah,
And the vest.
Yeah,
No, Harleys are sweet, but I feel like you're limited.
yeah. We may have just limited our fan base
Bro-
with some of the comments that we've
Yeah.
just made.
Just pissed off a lot of people. That's cool.
okay, that's a big.
Unfollow,
Come on, there's
unfollow.
memes for it, so it's not that specific.
Hell yeah.
I wasn't trying to offend anybody. We'll have
I'm
that
just
part
kidding.
edited out. For
I was the
anyone
one
that's upset.
offending them, also. It's okay.
It's honestly, come on, we're not talking like out to specific any one person. That's totally a vibe.
No,
Who's-
the Harleys are sweet though. I like them. There's a lot of people doing like no handbrake tricks on the Harleys.
Oh yeah, that guy just posted the video. It was on Stunt News. They did a seat
seat
standard
standard
scrape with no handbrake.
That's
so
pretty ballsy.
Can you walk me through that as a car guy? Can you draw me a picture? Will you
clutch-
reenact it on one of these bikes?
Clutch kick? No, I'm just kidding. So you're just standing on the seat and you scrape the bike, and
Yeah.
there's nothing other than the engine brake bringing you back forward.
Yeah.
So if you scrape too much, you're gonna crash.
This guy did it on a Harley.
Yeah, so in stunt riding, whenever you're doing a wheelie, you give it throttle, you go backwards, brake to come back forward, and
Yeah, bringing it back to like the OG style with no handbrakes. doing
yeah,
tricks like that, it's
doing
pretty wild.
so giving throttle, tapping the tail on the ground, standing on the
Yeah, hitting
seat
the
with no
titanium.
handbrake is a lot
on
of
the highway.
On the highway,
Going
relying
through
solely
a
on engine
bridge
brake.
with a lot of traffic and a lot of bikes, no room for error.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
Different
Props to
breed.
that
Takes a
guy.
lot of courage. You almost would have thought that it was a video that came out of Brazil.
Yeah.
Bro, those always throw me off when the dude's like in flip flops or like no shoes, and he's like got 3 of his homies on the back, and it's just like I hate to say this, I watch him like they have to crash. I don't want to see him crash, like I don't want to see that, but it's just in my mind, just struggling to like throw back a KLX 110 at the lot in a controlled environment with shoes. I'm like, there's no way, and they do.
Yeah.
They do it every time.
Yeah. So
Unbelievable.
kid clutch up a Busa straight to scraping the fender on the ground.
Why does it have to be a
flip-flops, no
Busa?
helmet.
Flip flops, yeah.
Crazy.
With his like infant sister on the back. What was your first bike? Now we're talking about this.
Oh shit. It was a Yamaha XR. I'd have to look on Instagram. I have a picture of it. It's an old bike. So the second bike was an R1. Let's start with that one.
So 2 Yamahas, but your name's KAWIKEITH. Let's go. Let's keep going until we get to the Kawi.
Had an R1, had an R6.
I feel like Danzy's kind of upset about this. You need to explain the path that brought us here.
So I had a Yamaha. Sorry, I had an R1. I had an R6, and then I was like, I saw a Kawi for sale, and so I flipped the R6 as fast as I could. I sold it like as soon as it was posted. I sold the R6 the same night, and there was also an F4i for sale. And I rolled the dice because I didn't know, because I saw a lot of people rode F4i, so I was like, man, I think the Kawi might be for me, and I got it, and then I didn't know how to wheelie, so I went ahead and dented the tank in, and I was like, oh, I'm a stunt rider.
That's how it works.
Yeah,
I think KAWIKEITH just rolls. Yamaha Keith does
I'll
not.
give it to him. Yamasaki Keith is what we were trying to go for.
Okay, that sounds like a shot. Yamasaki.
So yeah, let's roll that back a little bit for Evan too. So before, everyone used to cut their tanks.
Yeah. Now you have people like welding tanks and they're flat like that one. So back in the day, they used to take a hammer and pound it in and build a lip in it or jump on it. I think we jumped on it back in the day.
So the
and then
method
you
I
put
said was
padding.
the skateboard, taking the skateboard and hitting.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like that guy was just like looking around his garage. And he was like,
There was like a Blockstars video, and it was like, how to dent your tank, and they were just like, just take a piece of wood and just start whacking it. And so
now you're a stunt rider.
Yeah, now you're stunt. That's all you needed.
Man.
You needed a dented tank and a big sprocket and maybe a handbrake. I don't even think that you don't need that anymore. You're a stunt rider.
Yeah, a lot of the OG guys will still say that the dented tanks are more comfortable than the built tanks.
No, they're not. They're lying to you. I rode a dented tank once. I think Smash still rides a dented tank. I mean, she's tiny, but I tried to ride a dented tank. I couldn't do it. So props to them. These new tanks, like, you can sit on the lip and jump around.
dude, I've seen guys have like cup holders and like cell phone holders. Like, there's a guy with an iPad rocking in his. He's like watching The Office on a stunt ride.
Yeah.
No, I've seen some fruit, or I don't know, fruit brews that I wear. I've seen some fancy ones. Literally got like magnetic attachments.
For your phone.
They got the skinny white
It's
claw
come a long
holders
way.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to the past, dude. You day one guys that didn't have a beer holder. I knew it got too much when they started doing the skinny cans. I was like, y'all just got bored. You literally, you brought the culture to the White Claws. Or, I mean, a Red Bull for riding purposes.
What's the...
Yeah, some of the rides you definitely need a Red Bull to make it through. Like the
Like
all-night
what?
ride in Chicago.
Oh, dude, is that Broward?
I haven't.
No, Chicago, lean back, Chirac.
My bad.
Thursday night is sun up to sundown, or sorry, sundown to sun up. Yeah.
I'm too old for that shit, sorry.
I did it
tap out
2
at
years, but
midnight.
then me and Keith had to rescue one of the
Oh,
homies
yeah.
this last year
Yeah,
at
last
11.
year. We didn't make it.
He blew up his FZ and called me, so I had to call Keith, and we went back to the hotel, had to pick up the van and the trailer and go pick him up
I wouldn't
from
have
the
made
gas
it.
station.
We've all had to do that. That's part of stunt rides.
Yeah, that's fun. That's
Yeah.
the fun stuff.
Yeah, we had to do that in St. Louis a few years ago. And we got like pulled over by the cops allegedly with all the bikes in the back, and we had to like act completely normal in the front of the van. It's like, we know what y'all are up to. We're like, yeah, but you don't. You don't. And there's like 5 guys and 3 bikes in the back, and all of our merch is like behind a bush in a very sketchy neighborhood because we had to ditch it to pick up the bikes.
St. Louis.
And then everybody's like, thanks for picking us up. Like, get the fuck out, because I need to go pick up my shirts that is behind a fucking an oak tree.
That's another one. I think we were at ROC, but it wasn't like the main ride. It was one of the mini rides that they have, and one of the homies from like Michigan, his bike wouldn't start, pushed it behind a building. We went to pick him up, and we were literally there for 2 minutes, not even, loading the bike up. Guy walked around the corner with a gun in his hand, like on his lap. He's like, yo, this is my block, what are you doing? We were like, we're just taking this bike out
We're
of your
getting the
block.
heck out of here.
Yeah, we're leaving
Yeah.
right now. Like,
We've realized the mistake we've made, and we're doing our
we don't
best.
need to be here, don't worry.
One thing that's always impressive about stunt riders is whenever somebody's bike breaks down and they have to ditch it, like
Yeah.
it's very easy to, you don't realize how easy it is to pick up a motorcycle and throw it into the bed of a truck real quick.
Yeah, but the cool thing about it is most of your friends will always stop what they're doing to help you.
Oh yeah.
And make sure that you get home. So that's what's up. I've definitely crashed, and there's been many people, and I've done the same. I've missed the whole ride to make sure that somebody else makes it home. But that's the way it should be. You should help each other out.
That's awesome. That is a really cool killer part of the stunt community.
Well, that's one thing that I've
Yeah,
noticed
those are
between
really
both
cool
the
things.
drift community and the stunt riding community. That's why I love both of them so much, and why I'm wanting to get more into the drifting stuff is that both communities are very similar, and whereas like everyone's trying to help each other out for the most part. For the most part, you have guys trying to help each other out and help each other progress and giving advice and stuff like that. Just really, it's just like how you help the communities grow.
Yeah, I mean, we want it to last. You want you want both scenes to grow, and if you don't help each other, then it's not going to grow. It's not going to continue.
Also, getting older though is like you see the downfall of like what we just lost with our local lot, or potential loss of local lot. So you start to see like setbacks, and you're like, I want to avoid that.
Yeah, you want it to last. You want to.
Yeah, so you're like now invested, right? It's not that you want to see it grow, but you want to see it maintained.
People used to get really mad because we had a lot and we wouldn't tell anyone where it was. But the second you tell everyone where it's at, they come through and do burnouts, throw trash on the ground, and they don't respect it. And so then you're out of lot. Like, oh, this is our lot. Sorry.
It gets blasted on Facebook or Instagram. Yeah. Everyone has the address to it and pulls up.
Trust me,
like,
Kareless, we're in a weird, really awkward spot because people see us post that, and I'll like always try and wait till the end of the day to post it, and then be like, "Where's that?" I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
And I'll just I followed a homie there. He's like, "You go every Sunday for 2 years." I was like, I meet him at a gas station. I follow him there.
Blindfold me,
yeah,
give me directions.
There's many messages left on.
There was a bag over my head the whole time.
Where's that lot at? I wasn't even there.
Dude, Mexico, yeah, right? What? Yeah, seriously, right?
It's on your store. I don't know.
Dude, the other side of Waco. I don't know.
It happens, yeah.
But I hate it because then like we have like one dude showed up and then he invites a few guys and it's like 100%. One guy does something stupid and I'm like, I literally these guys like ignore the Kareless sticker on the back window. I don't know this guys.
I know. I literally got a text yesterday. Hey, can you give me the lot address? I'm like, you've never been there? I guess so.
Have you ever had any like bad political or not political? No. Have you ever had any bad like content with your brand attached to it with like that type of scenario that we can talk about?
I know you have. Yes.
Like I didn't go viral in South Lake for somebody else trying to kick a cop.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, it's all about you today.
There was a kid in
Kansas,
Wichita who hit a lady crossing the street.
Yeah, there's so
and he said
and he killed her.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. One of the homies from up there.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that.
He was like a newer guy around, really didn't know what he was doing, and then she was homeless and not completely all there, and she just walked out into the middle of the street. From the story I heard, walked out in the middle of the street, and he was in a wheelie, hit her, and she ended up not making it, and he fled the scene. And I remember seeing on Facebook there was a traffic camera.
Frying back, wearing my
Productions on the back.
Got about 100 messages from everyone. Hey, just a heads up. He's like,
did anybody reach out from the law side of that, or is it just
nobody reached out from the law side? I think he got caught pretty fast. And
oh yeah, he got caught
within
pretty
like 24, 48 hours. He was in jail, so I don't think they wanted to.
Yeah.
But I was definitely ready for that phone call.
Yeah,
isn't it crazy just being on the merch side? Like the whiplash that can come with it.
It's horrible, but
because you're just selling badass garments.
But I mean, somebody shoots somebody with a pair of Nikes on, they don't go after Nike. So you have to think of it that way. I mean, we make merch. You can't control what other people do once they put something on. So it's a gamble. You don't. I mean, it's rough. I mean, that was a pretty bad one though. So.
Yeah, but I feel like you didn't catch any flack like
no.
Stunt Daily, for example, caught a ton of flack.
The kid who just jumped through the
Philly.
He just jumped through a girl's window in the back of a car, and he had Stunt Daily gloves on, and Hulk dropped his gun or something.
Was that the one who was like a lady with her kid in the car delivering
food?
Yeah.
There was supposedly a bunch of stuff that happened before. I didn't see a video of what happened before, so I'm not going to speak on it. But
there's always a backside to the story. You get one side of it, you know. You don't really know what really happens.
Definitely shined a bad light on
the news goes, this is why bikers suck. They jump through windows, but it's like there's something that happened. That guy didn't just jump through a window.
Yeah, still completely uncalled for. Still should never happen. But there was definitely something that led up to that point, because you're not just gonna walk up to a random car at a red light and jump on a back window. But
I did see the short clips. I don't know the story leading up to it, but I did kind of see that. And I think Brian636 made a video kind of
he's really good at that. He kind of tries to put people in check, and big props to him for that, because 100%. He's made a couple videos like that. And
it was very well said.
Yeah.
I like how he illustrated, because he was like, even just riding with these people and knowing they have that type of behavior, you can't normalize that.
Yeah, because stuff like that is a cancer in the scene for sure. So if like we're not out here calling it out and saying, yo, we shouldn't be doing this, then the scene is just going to continue to decline instead of trying to get it in the right direction again.
There's always a sour apple, you know.
Yeah. I feel that way even about our Meacham a lot. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to be like pump myself up. I never left trash there. I always brought a trash bag, but now after what's happened and what's changed, I think about that. I was like, bro, why was I more accountable to the people that were stupid?
Yeah.
He's like, that's what built up over 6 months, and that's what probably was a huge factor. And then just like, fuck this.
Well, everyone's an adult.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even an adult. Like, don't be an a-hole.
Trying to leave
Pick
it better
up
than
your
when we
trash.
found it. But like even whenever we threw that lot session there, like all 3 of us had trash bags, and we were over there picking up trash, and we left it clean.
Me and Ashton cleaned up. We were at the year. Oh no, it wasn't last year. The year before we went to Chicago, and everyone left, and we didn't go on the ride. And when we cleaned up the parking lot with like 5 trash bags, and it was beer cans, shooters, trash, food.
Someone did an oil change in the hotel parking lot and just left their tub.
And I'm
with
just
the oil in
thinking, like,
middle
the
of
cops are
parking lot.
gonna roll through this parking lot and see all these beer cans, and they're not gonna like this. Like, so clean up your shit. Like, come on. It makes it gives everyone a bad name.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of crazy because we went to a ride at that like Salmon location. I used to hit that corner spot, and like literally it was a morning ride on a Saturday, and I think like maybe meet up was at 9, KSU was at 10, and I literally like we were one of the first ones there. I remember the lot was perfectly clean. It come like 10:05. It's just like Gatorade bottles, beer bottles, Red Bulls, Gars, the whole 9 yards everywhere, and you're like, that's all it took was 60 minutes, and these people can like legit trash it. And it's a bummer because I love the stunt community, but it's just like, this is why it's hard to find a good spot, and this is why nobody wants to entertain it. Or you get a hotel once, and like at that one we were just doing, they were like throwing stuff through the roof, and like dude, they're wild. And
luckily
everybody loves the idea of having a hotel for the ride, but then they do that, and then there's
Everyone's out of control.
Yeah, Brian's got a really good thing going on with that hotel in Chicago. I mean, I've been the last 3 years to.
They do that same hotel?
Same hotel all 3 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know how.
Bro, there was like a homeless guy like set up in the corner with a generator and like a shower system, and there were some people that showed up a few days in it. There was like NASCAR of bike riding.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people that didn't sleep, still riding. Like,
there may or may not have been a firework fight in the parking lot.
Oh, I was there for that.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
There was a guy in literally his like hospital gown and
that.
hospital wristband that like went down Thursday night that was riding Friday.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, on the Harley, right? That's the dude that broke his foot on the Harley or something?
I don't know. This guy did not look like he should have been back on the ride, but he was excited.
It's not the one I'm thinking of then, because that dude showed up with a boot.
I think there was somebody from Mexico that came up and he crashed his Harley.
I think
That's cool that hotel's about it, but I wasn't sure how much after that last one. It seemed like they were a little.
I feel like this last one was definitely a little bit crazier, but I feel like where it's better is that Brian posts the ride so far in advance, everyone knows the hotel to go to, and it's literally gets booked out. So there's no regular guests, and if there is, they're in for a surprise. But I feel like everyone at that hotel is a stunt rider for that week.
Yeah, if you're not, good luck.
Yeah.
No, I felt
not
like
having fun.
If you're not trying to go to sleep at 2 a.m., I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, they were riding bikes inside of the hotel last year.
Oh, there was definitely bikes in like hotels getting like
dude took his
maintenance done.
dyna through the hallways.
Yeah.
I don't know, was it on or did he like?
Yeah.
In one video, it looked like he was pushing it, so I never listened to the audio.
There was like a mini sesh on one of the sided buildings at like 2 a.m. that we went to.
Oh yeah,
last year?
it was all Groms,
All
and everything was good.
and it was like
someone brought out an F4i and like ruined the whole thing.
Yeah, it had been like raining, so it was slick. So everyone's doing burnouts, just everything. It was so much fun. And then the cops rolled by and they're like, "Can you guys stop? We told you like 10 times." And we're like, "Yeah." And then they just leave, and then we start doing it again.
My bad. That doesn't come with the hotel. But that pool was pretty whack. So I think you deserve some like parking lot wheelie burnouts.
That is true.
Yeah, insert picture here of like that oily dark pool. that hotel had given up. Yeah, that hotel had given up on a few things. So I think they're okay with the parking lot mischief.
No, that was cool. We had a blast.
There's something about stunt rides that have a host hotel that just makes it that much more amazing. Because there's nowhere that you go but the hotel.
Yeah, it's super cool that you don't have to like go out to a third location to hang out with the homies. All the homies are at the hotel, so you get to catch up with people because like
that's true.
Like most of the guys that I'm super cool with live across the country, and I only see them at certain rides. Like there's a bunch of homies on the East Coast that I only see at Lean Back or Broward on Top, and like getting to stay at the same hotel and hanging out, you get to hang out, catch up, and see how everything's going. You haven't seen them in a year.
What's the ride that you guys are looking forward to this year? What's the event? Where do you want to be coming up this summer? Anything special?
Denver Halloween ride.
Denver Halloween ride.
See,
I don't know who throws that one.
Yeah, I missed the last two, unfortunately, but No, I'm missing this year.
Obviously, that sounds like that'll be a phenomenal time.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
He's talking about the prison break thing. That seems cool.
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
pretty fun last
It
year.
was really fun last year.
It's hard for us to go. It's 20-something
Yeah.
hours. You know?
It's
a lot
understandable.
of gas, so it's. I mean, it's worth it, but
For the listeners, it's hosted at like an old prison, so that's crazy.
Yeah,
But I think
old
Lean
prison.
Back Chirac is something we can't miss after the
100%.
last
we'll be
one.
there for sure.
Middle of the map seems exciting. Like we should
Middle
go
of
there.
map's always
have
a
us
good time
in.
too. The
Yeah.
Kansas City homies are always hospitable.
Yeah,
and-
it's
So I'd say
Super
middle of the
second
map
home.
and Lean Back. Gosh, I think ROC is a thing in the past, but I want to
Yeah,
throw that out
ROC
there.
I think-
probably never happened.
Yeah,
again,
RC's done.
unfortunately.
It's Broward on top now, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Lean
I've
Back
yet
Broward
to
on
go to
top,
Broward.
Mont.
Is that? I've kind of heard that's a little sketchy.
I didn't get to go to this last one, but I went to the one
I
before,
heard it's
which
fun.
was the second one that they threw, and it had.
Oh, yeah,
it was
that's when
really cool. It was super smooth streets.
What was
I
the
was-
the first one when the cops tackled the guy off the bike? Was that Broward on top?
I
Or
don't
the-
think that was Broward on top.
Oh,
'cause
he
it
went
was-
around a bunch of cars and started swerving in the pack. I think he might have hit somebody. I don't know. It was the Florida State Patrol.
I feel like that was
I
a
think that was, like, the first
GVO or MLK.
No, I think that. Are you
What's
sure?
GVO?
Good vibes only. Dirt bike.
Oh,
It's
I gotcha.
bike life.
Well, either way.
Good vibes only seems like that would attract a lot of helicopters and
Either way, Florida does not play. So.
No, Florida.
like out here they
State
say
Patrol.
don't mess with guys that wear cowboy hats. What do they say out there?
Stay away from the tan hoods.
Is that what it is?
The
I
Florida
had
State
to-
Patrol. Yeah.
Oh,
I had to
crap,
work
that
in
sounds
Florida
sketchy.
for a little bit this last year, and whenever I was out there, I took my bike and I was out riding, and I was the only one doing a wheelie in the little small town I was in, and I was looking around and I saw a weird, thought it was a deer crossing sign, and I get closer and I realize it has a panther on the sign,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
tell the guys about it, and they're like, yeah, we usually don't wheelie on that road because there's alligators walking across the road, and you got to worry about the panthers. And I'm like, thanks for telling me. That would have been the
Welcome to
most.
Florida.
Yeah,
that would have been
shit.
the craziest headline. Texas man dies a Florida man's death, mauled by a panther, eaten by an alligator.
Can you imagine like you hit an alligator and then like
dude.
Oh, you'd crash for sure.
If it was a small one, I might try and take it home. And I feel like Keith agrees on that.
Oh yeah.
If the prison break
As long as
says
it fits in the van.
do you guys want to talk about your animals or is it
Oh,
just cats
man.
and dogs?
I don't have any animals.
That's cool.
Yeah, just
Mine are legal in my state, so I have a.
That's very
Miniature
specific.
crocodile
Yeah,
and
we're
a Great
using a
Dane.
VPN for this. So I don't know what state we're in.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
made a mistake and then we babysat his Cayman. So now we have a
Cayman is his
Yeah,
cat's
this,
name.
this is how you know that he's one of the real ones. He drove all the way from Denver to Lubbock, Texas, to pick up my miniature crocodile, took it back home, and babysat him for like 3 months, and used it as a test run. And it only took 2 weeks before he bought his own.
I think it was just a social experiment so you could talk her into getting a cat named Crocodile.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and then we have a Nile monitor, and that's pretty cool. But it's only like 12 inches, 18 inches. It'll be sweet. It'll be able to eat one of our dogs in like a year.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, during the
I want
prison
Polish
break-
chickens. This all sounds wimpy compared to what you guys have. Try to
During the
get a
prison
fluffy
break sesh,
chicken.
me and him left a little early so we could drive down to the Everglades and try and find some
look for
baby alligators.
Did
It's
you really
great.
do that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You can buy an alligator for like $100 in Florida.
You can probably find anything for $100 in Florida.
Not legally.
Not legally, that's right.
You can-
No, that's
Find
no.
out
The
if
Florida
you
thing
can pull it over in
insinuates
Kansas.
it's not legal.
Like, yeah.
So you hold
How
on.
did you get
You
eaten
went
by
to
an
the
alligator?
Everglades,
Yeah.
and did you have a cage? Like I need a
No, we just
paint a
drove.
picture.
We just
No.
drove through there.
Be like, hey, I hope I found an alligator. I'm just gonna put it in my truck and.
We
tape
should
its
have
mouth
stayed
shut.
the night and walked around at night, and we would have seen like every animal possible. That's what we should do next time.
Yeah, instead we walked around the prison, and I definitely was. A little
But it was
scared.
interesting. The only like right down the street from the prison is alligators. So
Mhm.
somebody got too drunk, decided to go for a walk. Jaws or chompers.
Well, and again, there were those panthers, so I'm sitting in the
Yeah.
back of the truck, and I'm like,
How big are panthers? Because we got like coyotes out here, and they can be like 50 to 60 pounds. How
Big-
big is a panther?
big enough to take you out.
What is the average weight of a panther? Let Siri make her keep.
I'm gonna guess 150 pounds.
Oh wow, I'm talking crap now. It's not working. What the heck? Come on, Steve Jobs. All right, well now I've committed to this decision. What is the average weight of a panther? We don't have a Jamie, so we're gonna go to Safari. Wow, Safari cannot open this page because I'm not connected. I need to pay my bill. So I'm gonna say, yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Panther.
150-ish pounds, which is
You say that like it's nothing. That's scary as
Bit big.
shit.
That's about me.
I'll go with it.
150 pounds of pure muscle. Nah.
Yeah. If you don't look at the belly.
Do the panthers have the crazy tongues like lions and cats and stuff?
Tigers and bears. Oh my.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you? Brother.
They have like shark teeth on their tongue.
You don't know this?
This is
You have
taking
crazy
a
animals?
Nat Geo wild turn.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be drifting and stunt riding. And
Yeah, where are we going with this?
He was gonna
So
shout
when are
at
you
us
getting
all
an
week.
alligator? That's what I want to know.
Dude, I'm trying to babysit one of y'all's, and I will.
It's worth it.
No, I'm just kidding. We're actually going to a hot animal show. What is it called? Travis said it was hot because it has venomous animals.
Yeah.
Conroe, Texas. In a few weeks, I'll probably be buying something
Yo,
deadly.
Texas is wild. I go to the
Yeah.
reptile stores down here and they got monkeys for sale in the reptile
I
stores.
keep saying.
I don't know.
No,
That's
what
that's
are you
like a
guys
guy in the
doing?
parking lot that's like breeding those in his garage.
What do
He
I need
also
a
sells them
monkey
at
for?
Trader's Village. So I don't know if that's a credible one.
We take this back to Colorado.
I keep saying it, dude. They sell kangaroos in San Antonio. We need to make a trip.
That sounds like a tax
They've
write-off.
bumped up the price to $7,000.
Tracy, I got
We're
it to
20
deliver
need a
stickers. Yeah. Do you need a
Kangaroo
bottle?
model. Yeah.
Oh, a model. I think you said a bottle.
No, we need a model.
We'll
Model.
go buy a kangaroo.
Dude, that thing will.
We'll get him in a red jacket. We'll call him Jackie Legs. We'll slap the Kareless and
Sounds like you
Cynical
thought this
logos on
through.
it, and we'll be good. We can do a tax
he's
write-off.
committed.
It's
I feel like you
advertisement.
keep Bailey up at night trying to justify this. She's like, whatever you say, Danzy,
We
just
don't
go to
tell
bed.
Bailey. We don't tell Bailey. That's rule
Turn off
number
your
one.
location
Yeah.
so she doesn't know.
Yeah.
We're
are you
going to
in
San Antonio for a drift event.
Yeah.
We're all going. And
You're gonna turn
we
into
just
like the
happen
straight
to come
version
back
of
with
Joe
kangaroo.
Exotic minus the mullet.
I'll film it. Let's go.
I went to
I'm
that
about
place
it.
before he was like on Netflix series.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got the sticker that says Joe Exotic for Oklahoma governor. Saving that for a good location. But yeah, I think you guys should do it.
Evan was one of the ones petitioning outside the jail. Since they
I
got-
was voting for the guy. I think he had a really good foundation. Minus his like 2 husbands. Like he had a lot going for him. He had no shame.
Yeah.
This is all funny. I don't actually vote for that guy. But
Well, that'd be like the least divisive political view that you could put
Evan
out.
for Joe Exotic. Kareless supports Joe Exotic for Texas governor. Get that wheelchair guy Evan out of here and bring pew pew Exotic in. Honestly, he had a fair run, but yeah, he never got out of jail, and I think we all gave up hope after that. I vote for the heavyset guy that's like the leopard jet ski that like rode that in the intro.
Yeah.
He's
It was
got a
like the
chance.
double agent. He ended up being the like one that broke it all down.
Dang, he's like the Takashi 6ix9ine of
Yeah.
the whole thing. This did take a turn. Back to stunt riding, 'cause that's a lot better.
Oh, man.
So let's go back to your bike. Since it's sitting behind us and so beautiful.
That
looking
thing,
at it.
it's nice.
Why don't you run fairings on your bike? Why does it
honest-
look naked?
The last time I had fairings on my bike, it fell over in the back of my truck, and the fairings cracked, and they were like brand new fairings, and I didn't feel like spending another like $400 on fairings, so I took them off, and I haven't ran them since. It's just hard to keep them clean. You never know, like they crack, they break, they look great.
Yeah.
You have one Grom kid that wants to wheelie in first gear in front of you, and you're doing a wheelie, and you smoke them because you can't see them.
Is there a video of this happening?
No, not yet,
Respect
but
some
it
of
might
that.
happen. No, I'm just
No,
kidding. But
I would be that Grom
But-
kid trying to get a clip. Like, look how cool I am.
On
yeah,
one of your
you
brand
just
new
never know.
scooters,
You
man.
can't see. I mean, you can see, but
Do you think it makes some tricks a little bit easier than?
yeah, definitely. When you jump to 50-50, which is your foot through the bars, your leg lands on the stunt stay, the fairing stay, and it just feels so much better. And like you feel way more locked into the bike. I feel like when I used to practice circles with fairings, the bike will just like circled so much easier. But I just like it, Street Fighter look. It's just easier. It's cheaper. You don't have to worry about replacing parts. You can see. I like doing sit downs. That's probably one of my favorite tricks. So hanging off the bike, doing a sit down, looking around. It's so much easier without fairings. I always remember watching like Joe with full fairings, like hanging off the bike, looking around. I'm like,
Which
yeah.
Joe?
High side Joe.
Oh, heck yeah. Heck
Yeah. So he runs full fairings on his Kawi. Everyone does. I'm just the only one.
It looks really clean.
Yeah, it's
so
clean.
If you have like a clean, especially like Joe or
I've-
Brian or even like Toaster Tony,
Yeah.
they have like.
I've thought about going back to full fairing because it'd be cool to make like a Cynical bike and wrap it or put some fairings or some stickers on it and it would look sick. But at the same time, I'd crash.
That means
Still.
you're riding. That means you're
Still.
Isn't
Still
there
crash,
beautiful
apparently.
phrases like if you're not pushing yourself, you're not crashing?
Yeah, 100%. But it would suck to like we powder coated this bike and I crashed it probably a month after we built it. And it was just a fluke crash. I accidentally kicked the kill switch, flew over the bars.
So like this relates to me on social media. There's this viral thing that kept getting shared specifically over the holidays, but it was like shame your friends for having drift missiles, and I was like, I don't really know if I agree with that. Because like that's what the sport is started off. No one has a beautiful like at least in the drifting. It's like no one has like a perfect body kit, and like people will talk crap when you have like a bunch of Z's doing tandems, and someone will be like, well, none have front bumpers because they're shit. And it's like also they're banging doors. So like there's like there's a middle ground to it. Well, it's like they're pushing the limitation. So it's like I just with that one specific post, I was like, that's kind of a snooty, and I don't know. I mean, respectfully, like that kind of seems like an ignorant thing to say.
Yeah.
Because like the sport is not started off with people that just are immediately like perfect.
Yep.
So you need a seat time car. So it's like that's kind of what that is. Like it's cool to have something beautiful and like fully like what you said, fairings or fully kitted out for a car. But it's like
pretty bike.
But then at the same time, there's something to be said about like a drift missile or a stunt bike that's an actual stunt bike that tells a story. Because when you see a beautiful Harley, like you kind of look at it like, he probably doesn't really shred it like that. But I saw a bike like this, I'm like, nah, that dude throws it down.
Yeah, but it's gonna change soon. I need a pretty bike.
Well, whenever you have a pretty bike, you're more timid and you don't want to drop it and you don't want to like, you don't want to break it. You don't want it to look not pretty.
As soon as I crashed it, I was like, well, we're going all out on this thing. Like,
so like,
I promote the zip tied bikes and missile cars. Enjoy yourself, have fun, get seat time, and don't let people with a pretty car hate on you.
Man, don't hate on that.
Don't hate on what? I was talking
a bag of zip ties is a stunt rider's repair kit. Don't hate on.
Dude, are you kidding me? Drift cars are held together by zip ties. Like, I mean,
I guess they do call it a drift stitch, don't they?
Dude.
What it's called?
Yeah, that's the key to success right there. There's a couple zip ties. Yeah, I'm telling you. Now we're gonna start powder coating here next month. So this thing's getting a makeover completely.
That's awesome. Did we powder coating in house?
Yeah, powder coating in house.
What all do you do in house? Because you have a lot of equipment. I've seen some of the behind the scenes stuff you posted.
Screen printing, embroidery, DTF. I think that's it.
What is DTF?
Direct to garment. Well, we do direct to transfer film, so we have a printer film printer, and heat press it on. Not the actual machine that you put the shirt on and it prints it straight onto the shirt. That'd be cool though. Not there yet.
Those are expensive, and then like there's like a pre-set up machine, and then it's not as scalable as you doing the direct to transfers, and then kind of applying those like
the direct to transfers really like set the bar, because all of a sudden you can do so many cooler things. You can do bar bags, fanny packs, hats. You know, it makes it more fun. So you can literally, I mean, you just customize whatever you want. So it's fun. But the screen printing was the set. I mean, I started with vinyl. So you get your foot in the door, and then I learned how to screen print, and then you work your way up, buy more machines. Started with a 4-color screen press, now we have a 6.
Did you ever work in a print shop, or are you actually all self-taught?
I think I just watched a lot of YouTube videos.
I was just going to make you YouTube certified,
No, 100%. I mean, if you want something in life, you just watch a couple of YouTube videos and you learn it. I mean, you push yourself.
What's been the most challenging thing for you to learn?
CMYK, which is the process of using like 4 to 5 color screen printing. So you have to use like your normal colors and line it up perfectly to make a full color image, like wet print on print. That's hard, because if you don't line it up perfectly, it doesn't look right. And you're using red, yellow, blue, black, and like a white base. That's difficult. But everything else is pretty simple. I like the single, like 2-color prints are easy. It's all a work in progress. It's all challenging yourself, have fun with it. Make something. I mean, you always want to make something you'd wear. At least that's how I do it. I make something. That's why we run purple a lot. It's like, I like purple, so we're making a purple shirt today. And purple, people like purple, so
You are the driver of the shit, man. So whatever you think is best.
Yeah, you just have fun with it. Not everything's gonna sell. So, but yeah, the embroidery is pretty fun. We need to step up our game this year. Get some more stuff, new machines.
Anything specific you got your eye on?
A better embroidery machine would be sick. Those Rhomas are awesome. Those 10 needle, 18 needle coma machines.
That's what you want, or that's what you have?
That's what I'd want. Yeah, I just had a single needle. So we do hats and beanies and simple stuff. But man, upgrading to that would be nice. So
is that like the machine that they have in like lids in like the ball and
pretty
stuff?
much. Yeah, pretty much like that. I mean, there's all different kinds of brands and names. Every different country makes them. So, I mean, but they're all 15K, 20K. So we have a simple
Definitely an investment.
$4,000 single needle embroidery machine, entry level. But whatever.
You could buy 5 0304s.
I know, like whatever. I actually, it's funny enough, is I sold the Beamer, and I turned around. I swear, I turned around the same day and bought the embroidery machine with the money from the Beamer.
That's my laser engraver. I sold a pit bike or a dirt bike, and I literally was like, well, yes, today's the day.
Yeah, I was like,
well, it's all here.
Right. I saw it online, and I was like, well, I'm not driving this car enough, and I'm literally spending more money than making money. So let's just flip it and invest in ourselves, gamble a little.
Yeah, I remember the first time I went up to Denver and met you, you had the drift car and you were talking about it was all big, and then literally the very next time I talked to you, I'm like, hey man, how's the drift car company? He's like, oh, I sold it, I don't have it anymore.
Yeah,
It's
it was
been a couple
fun.
months.
It just, you gotta dive in, you gotta really, if you want it, you gotta dive in, balls in all the way, and I just put my toes in, and I was like, this is a lot of fun, but I think I missed riding. I didn't have a bike at the time, and I think the riding was more, you're drifting. You're in the drift scene, and I like the ride scene more.
Well, I love it, but it's just so much of a financial commitment. I mean, you really have to eat, breathe, and sleep that, and that is literally ready.
And I do think it would have
Your whole
helped
thing.
you want to stick with drifting more if you would have been in an environment like what we have here. Because I just barely got introduced to the drift scene this last year, and I've already met so many cool dudes. And there's been a ton of events here locally, and then there's a ton of events in Houston. And every single person I've talked to at those events has been super helpful and encouraging. And I feel like if you had an atmosphere like that up where you were at, I feel like you would have maybe stuck with it a little bit longer.
Yeah, we have Drift Colorado, which is pretty big, and there's a lot of cool events in Colorado. But I didn't dive in deep enough.
What's the weather like? Like, how many, if you were to have a drift car, what's the amount of months you can actually drive up there?
Denver's pretty.
I guess it depends what the altitude is, I guess.
Yeah, it'll snow, and the next day it'll be 60.
Okay.
It's wild.
Shout out global warming.
Yeah, it's wild. Keep drifting because the weather's getting good. No, just kidding. No, it's. We're riding year long in Colorado.
Oh, okay, I didn't know if you had,
there's
a few
probably a
weeks where it
month
was-
or two that it snows a ton, but you're still riding in that month
That's tough.
if you're crazy enough.
Yeah, I'll be thinking in my head, man, it's too cold. I can't go out and ride today. And it's in the 50s, and then I go on Instagram and I see Keith is riding, and then I look at the weather in Denver and it's 36 degrees. I'm like,
yeah, we're still out there.
okay,
We'll still
maybe
ride
I can go ride.
Yeah, there's someone always riding. I'm telling you, as long as it's not snowing. Oh, we just so our next adventure, we just put cement screws and studded our Rhome tires.
Oh, heck yeah.
So we're as soon as I get back to Colorado, me and Smog are gonna go up into the mountains and rip the Groms in the snow. Hopefully a lot of snow because we put these big ass nails through them.
What was the process
They
on that?
look like Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah.
Like
Don't
that's the type
fall
of vibe
off.
that gives
Yeah,
off.
so we got knobby tires, and then the process was literally just drilling. Well, we drilled through, so we had a hole, like a pilot hole basically, and then we put a nut on the end, and there's cement screws. We could have got
You use
studs.
cement screws
Use
from the
cement
hardware
screws.
store. Please
Yeah,
tell me there's
$150 worth of cement
Yeah, right.
screws.
Yeah, how many dollars?
If you $150 for
Are you proud
4
of that?
tires, yeah, we spent a lot of money, and the tires were cheap.
They look pretty gnarly.
Yeah,
right?
if you get run
crazy.
over, you're gonna have holes in your leg because just holding it and trying to screw it in, it was digging in. So it should work good.
Nice.
There were some local guys in Denver that it snowed a foot or something, and they shut down all their roads. Nobody wanted to do anything.
My bad, we're still good.
Oh, you're good. So they have snowmobiles, and it snowed I don't know, a foot and a half, and I saw their stories, and they were snowmobiling on the highway, going through downtown Denver. The roads are all just mashed. No one's driving. It was a freak snowstorm, and they're just out there whipping it on their snowmobiles, just doing whatever they wanted.
That's
So I
awesome.
was like, yo, we gotta do this on Groms. Let's go through downtown Denver on our Groms in a snowstorm. No one's done that.
That's what
We need
it
that
is about
happening
having a
here.
Grom.
Yeah. What are they gonna do? Get mad at us? Let's do it.
Somebody on the internet will.
Oh, of course. That's the point.
Dude, that's one thing I always find so crazy with the stunt scene is that, we'll go out on Thursday night on bike night, and we'll be on big bikes, and we'll be doing, some kind of crazy stuff, but then and the cops will get called, and the community hates us, but then we go out on Mini Monday, and doing even crazier and even more wild stuff, and it's oh, look at those kids, they're having a good time out on
Little mini bikes.
on scooters and Groms, and
Or if you just dress up, like you have a Halloween or like a Christmas ride and you dress up as the Grinch or Santa, everyone's got their phones out, they're filming you, they're like, whoa, they're the same bikers we hate.
Color perspective.
Yeah, 100%.
There's also like the scooters. You can't get mad when you see a bunch of grown men riding scooters. Like, oh, they're just living their best life.
It's like that meme on Facebook. It's like selling my pocket bike, my kids outgrew it, and it says me and my friends, and it just shows a grown adult ripping a pocket bike.
Yeah, Groms are great.
Sometimes the mini bikes are just more fun.
Yeah, there's a different vibe. You can go out on Mini Monday and just have so much fun. It sets the whole week. This is gonna be a good week.
So around here, our gracious host Riley is taking us out on some on some pretty gnarly trails that have dirt jumper ramps set up, and the Groms go just fine on them.
Yeah, there's nothing like going off a dirt jump, like some BMX track on a Grom, crashing. Or not crashing, but
Probably better not to crash.
yeah, but it's pretty fun, man.
That's the goal.
Yeah. I guess crash clips always get more views.
They do.
That's what sucks, but like anytime I've crashed my dirt bike, I'm like, fuck, if we would have got that video, that'd be totally worth it.
Yeah, we
It's dislocated arm.
we send it. We have a bike, like a bike trail and a bike path and all kinds of stuff. And like they have like regular bike trails around the city, so we take all the Groms through there. And it's a disaster. It's so much fun. We're just wheeling these little single lane roads next to the river. If you go off, you end up in the river.
Does that happen?
Yeah, people crash.
Oh, dude, Rando's ride up in St. Louis, man. That concrete, I'm sure it's made for bicycles. I'm sure that's what the purpose was for it. But the Groms are just so fun on it, man. It has the
the
like
track.
It's like a miniature Texas Motor Speedway.
I forgot about that.
All concrete.
It's what is it? It's a track.
It has to
it's
be
like
for bicycles.
Yeah, it's like an oval track, so it's like a mini track, like you would.
But it's so much fun for Groms unless you're Kalen, and then you take your 125 two-stroke and ramp off of the track into the trees.
Yeah, that's right. But he was nuts. He was wheeling the whole thing. So the sides are like elevated.
Oh,
And
that's
like it has an incline.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has an incline, and so you get like, I don't know, 150 little bikes,
Yeah,
and everyone's racing around, and everyone else is watching, and people are just flying out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Yeah, Kalen was on a 125
Yeah,
two-stroke,
he was
and he was doing a
wheeling.
wheelie around the entire track. Did 3 laps just fine. As soon as I get my phone up to record him, I see him slam the bike down, skids, and just goes over the back of the track and directly into the trees. Luckily, wasn't hurt at all. He got a pretty crazy GoPro video out of it. And
Oh, Rando's ride? Where's that at?
Rando's ride in St. Louis.
Oh, I got you.
It's a mini ride. Pretty fun.
Yeah.
What's the name behind, or what's the story behind Rando?
That's the guy. That's his name. If I'm not mistaken, that's his name, right?
That's his name.
I don't know if
He
that's his
runs
Instagram.
He just started it for fun, and then it just grew into.
That's a genuine question because I've heard, I think you mentioned it, but I didn't know what the story
Man,
was.
he's super cool dude. One of the cool dudes in the scene. Unfortunately, one of the homies' bikes got stolen from the parking lot because it is.
Oh yeah.
You're at a parking lot that's next to a bar in the hood, and we don't know if it was one of the riders or what, but they stole the bike, and we went and talked to him, and he put it on blast. And fortunately, we never got the bike back, but Rando was a super cool host. And
He left his key in his bike when we walked around.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Goodbye, Grom.
Yeah.
See you later.
Sorry, Barber, but I love you.
Yeah.
He's like, man, we can do this back
But
in
I mean, it
Arkansas.
was-
and we're like, dude, you're not in
It was
Arkansas.
one of
You're in
those-
St.
Oh,
Louis.
no.
It was one of those.
It's like, this is my first time leaving the small city. I've
Love
never
to
left
do
the
that,
state
but-
before this.
We were in the front of the van, and we literally walked around to the back of the van, walked right back into the front, and the Grom was
Grom was gone.
It was like somebody was standing behind a tree waiting for somebody to walk away from.
Dude, it was Poly STL, my bad. His like custom Honda
Yeah.
with like red and gold graphics went missing. That was like loaded up in a truck in a field full of people.
Well, and what was
I
super
remember
crazy
that.
is it was cold, so he was like, we had to ride back to the hotel to get the truck, and he was like, hey man, like, can you go ahead and, I don't want to ride back, it's too cold, can you grab my truck for me? I was like, yeah man, give me your keys. He's like, oh, they're in it. I was like,
Jeez.
oh, dude.
This guy
And
doesn't have
and
Arkansas,
we
yes.
had talked about it before the Grom got stolen. We left and we went and got his truck.
His truck's
I-
gone too.
I jumped in the truck.
I was like, he's like, I need to file a claim. My bike got stolen. They're like, oh no, and like, oh yeah, my truck got stolen. Oh, the bike was in the back. He's like,
No, two separate locations.
yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah, no, I get, not only are the keys in the truck, they're in the ignition, in the hotel
He lives
parking
on like a
lot.
20-acre property in the middle of nowhere.
Dude, I wish
I don't know
could,
this guy, but I'm sorry.
I wish
It's
I
just
could
sad.
live in a place like Arkansas from the
Right.
sounds of it, not have to worry about my stuff.
No,
getting
you don't want to
stolen,
live
but-
somewhere like that. That you're like only
carefree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to live there. It's
Sorry,
that's like
Barbara, I
where
was putting you on blast,
Yeah.
but
I was born in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and you don't want to live in places like that.
yeah.
Take your keys. Live in a normal place.
Have you always been in Denver, or are you kind of?
I snowboarded for. So when I was 18, I moved out of Nashville and moved to Vail, Colorado. I moved to Beaver Creek actually. I snowboarded until I was like 25, and all I did was party and drink. And so everyone's like, "Oh, you don't drink and party," and I'm like, "Yeah, I got that out of the way." And I got in a lot of trouble, and so I moved down to the city and tried to like get my life together and started riding bikes.
I'm glad you brought up snowboarding because you have a video on your Instagram of the glory days of KAWIKEITH in snowboarding, and it looks like if I was to go to a professional snowboarding shop, I feel like that's the video they'd be playing on the TV in the background. It's such a clean edit. Not a care in the world. Not even wearing a helmet.
No, we're having fun. Throwing backflips on everything. I mean, it was a party town. All you do is snowboard. You wake up, eat, sleep, breathe, snowboarding. It's pretty fun. But I mean, like, you're 18 years old. You get your goal is to be a pro snowboarder. We used to wear tall tees though, like 4X down to your knees. I don't know. It was a fashion statement. I started a clothing line up there for fun, and it wasn't anything. But like, so when you go back to like the screen printing aspect, the first time we started screen printing, we were in a second-story apartment, and we had a garage outside, and we were screen printing in the garage and using the shower to wash the screens out and printing the shirts. And to start, we didn't have an oven, so we threw all the shirts on a sheet tray and baked them in the oven.
Like a physical
oven. To
Are
get
those
going.
cookies in there? No, it's a T-shirt.
To
Take
get
it out.
going.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's just the
What
way.
does an oven temperature need to be at to cook a T-shirt?
So
Just in case mine ever goes out. 420?
It's right. So that was
369?
those were the days. And then you buy some equipment and start going, but you just that was the YouTube certified. That's how it all started.
So
What was the name of the brand? My bad. What was the name of the brand?
So the first thing we did was Dirty Laundry, and it was a buddy of mine, a tattoo artist, and we started that. And then he kind of moved away and didn't really like try, so I started a second one. It's called Bitch Please.
Both of them sound great.
Yeah.
I'd rock both those ones.
Yeah.
Try to think, like, those would be just good nicknames.
So-
Have you met Dirty Laundry and Bitch Please? Yeah, those are cool fucking guys. I've partied with them. They sound like a good time.
Yeah, that's good. So
what quantity were you putting out? Because I've been to your house right before a ride, and
We were
the
doing it.
amount that you're producing, and like it's always a little hectic, and you're trying to get everything ready. So like,
let's just say I didn't quit my full-time job to print shirts. So no, we weren't making anything good. You're snowboarding. Your goal isn't to print shirts; it was to party.
what was your full-time job before you got into the screen printing?
I ran a restaurant for a long time.
What kind of restaurant?
Italian kitchen. So I was a sous chef for a while. I did construction as well when I moved to the city, but mostly cooking.
Dude, that's tiring.
Yeah,
I worked at a hotel for 13 years. That will take it out of you.
yeah. Cooking was. I mean, it's just so fast-paced. I think that's why I like screen printing, because I'm always like printing shirts, trying to run the embroidery machine. Got the other machine over here going, and we're trying to do all this stuff at once. It's like disaster. So makes it fun. You probably don't do that.
Which part?
The disaster part.
Oh no, my life is a disaster. No, it's just one slightly looking
have
organized
you
disaster.
have you taken a step back here recently, because you went from being in an apartment, printing out of the garage, baking shirts in the oven, to now you have a full setup in your house. You got a full shop. You're now in not one but two dealerships. You're in the GP up in Denver, and then Riley's Powersports down here in the Fort Worth, Texas area. Like, have you taken a second to process to see where you've come?
Yeah, we were laughing earlier because we did a tour of his house, and so, I mean, he put some money into those machines, and so sometimes you sit back and you're like, man, that's, you start calculating these machines that you bought and the equipment that you bought, and you're like, man, we came a long way because I think we started printing shirts for, like, the first screen press I had, we printed in the living room, and then we pushed it into the garage. And it was too cold because it's Colorado and it wasn't insulated. So then I got to move it into the basement. I had a renter at the time, so he moved out, so I got to put it in the basement.
Like, hey Kyle, you need to go back to your mom. The printing's kind of picking up.
My mom said I can't stay the night to help out.
So now we have the full basement, and it's like a dream come true at this point. because
It's so funny. Is like my bad. I cut you off.
no, you're good.
It's just like I was in a long-term relationship and I was like negotiating like real estate in the home to make it business side, and I'm like, but if we turn the living room into it,
I know.
think of all the other things we can do.
That's the problem, because this is where we're at. We're like, well, if we move the screen printing stuff out of the basement, we could have a full pond in the basement for our alligators.
So you love to have alligators.
That's
Yeah,
why we
the
can't hang
500
out.
gallon that's in there
Yeah.
not big enough. Yeah, this
That's why
is
we
why
can't
me and
hang
Keith
out.
aren't allowed to hang out for
Yeah.
more than a weekend.
Ooh,
just come
Neither
to
one of our
Concord, buy
significant
another
others.
What kind of
one.
animal? This is where the monkey's gonna go.
Kangaroo, man.
You're teaching
Kangaroo
karate.
with the red jacket.
Is that a Grandma's Boy reference?
Yes.
That was amazing. Thank you for that.
That's your
I'm
guys'
way too
age-
big to
age
drive to
range.
the devil's house, but monkey isn't.
Make monkey drive.
Yeah, drive monkey.
Yeah, y'all
He's
are
it.
losing me on this reference. I don't
You're too
know.
young. Let's go.
Yeah.
So, he's like, why haven't you been picking up my calls? I was putting up my Christmas tree. He's like, dude, it's the middle of July.
Where do you get your weed from, Dante?
I said, you. Maybe it's time to wrap it up. We're getting off topic, I think. I don't know. Is there any other questions you need, Danzy? Any other thing you can think of? Anything coming up? Big rides, big projects, big events, secondary locations popping up. Beautiful stand up.
Yeah, the goal is
Display.
to get into more dealerships and see where we can go.
Well, Riley's working on opening more dealerships.
Yeah, yeah.
In the sometime future.
Travel. Well, I just really want to travel this year, and I want to have fun again. I feel like last year was printing for everyone, and I want to take a step back and have more fun. Film. I want to. I mean, I have a decent YouTube channel. I need to put out more media, so the goal is to do more MTV crib videos.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I really liked you used to do these videos, 60 seconds with so-and-so. I believe you knocked out 3 of those, and those were always really sick.
No, it was well, yeah, I did that, and then I did Never Settle videos, and so we filmed with like Wyatt Top Notch, and we filmed in Vegas, and man, if you could watch that
it's
video,
killer.
that video was sweet, because we put in a lot of work over a weekend, and we went from like all these places in Vegas and shot all these sick tricks. Like,
So specifically, what you do with Wyatt that was really good in Vegas?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to check.
Yeah, the edit's really
Yeah.
cool. But
So
it
it'd be
did
cool
the
to get
interview.
back to like the filming aspect and have more fun with it. I mean, anyone can make a stunt ride video, so I'm trying to do something a little bit different this year.
Well, and I feel like I think I've told you this before, the stunt riding videos are like really cool, is like you watch it once and then maybe you'll play it in the background while you're doing something else in the garage or in the house, but the ones that you were doing like with Wyatt or something that you actually want to sit there and watch and you want to learn, it gives you a chance to learn more about this guy, and
Yeah.
they're
More.
two
Yeah.
completely different styles of videos.
Yeah. So push out more media this year.
I wonder if it's a byproduct. Is anybody can go on the ride and make a stunt ride video? It's just like any guy on a random bike. Versus with you, you're more in depth. You have a relationship with these like top athletes, so it's like you're going to show a different perspective, and they'd be more comfortable talking about different things that the normal rider, if just like GoPro footage, like a 20-minute
That's what we're
recording
gonna go for this
clip
year.
is just not as attractive.
100%.
Well, and he's gone through it to get the high dollar camera, to get the good editing. It's definitely going to come out better than the GoPro quality. You and Wild West Wheelies,
Yeah.
definitely are putting out some pretty
We're gonna
dope edits.
swerve though and do some more behind the scenes shots this year. Stuff that people don't see. Like the people that don't get to travel get to see it and they're pumped, you know. They're like, oh, that's what these crazy fuckers do.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what we do. So it should be good. It'll be a lot of incriminating stuff.
Oh gosh,
Should be a lot of fun.
Don't say that. Yeah, for
Everyone's
legal
gonna-
reasons, this was all recorded in advance on
Movie
private
set.
property
It
by
was
trained
all-
professionals.
We're gonna
set.
make sure you put your address in that one video that we put.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Should be
Movie
good.
set in Mexico.
Location.
Yeah, so
Good to go.
no, it'll be fun.
Legal advice. Are you familiar? If you ever asked, it's always better to say "I do not recall" than "I plead the fifth."
Makes sense.
Because "I plead the fifth" assumes guilt. I do not recall. You cannot be held accountable for your lack of memory.
Smart man.
And with the legal
Careless
advice
legal
and the train
services.
horns, I think that's a good place to end it.
Right? That was good. That's our outro.
That is our outro.
And we were like, I was sharing good advice, just like, thank you, Justin, Texas.
Is anybody else freezing?
Not at all, dude. My toes are a little cold, but.
Yeah.
Shout out to
getting
Riley
heater,
one more
dude.
time. Shout out to Riley Powersports.
Shout out to Riley
Yeah.
Powersports.
He said, come after hours and the heat's not on.
Yeah. Riley's definitely one of the ones that's
What's up?
supporting
I'm sorry. I promise. This is a beta episode. It will never happen again. Riley.
Hey, next time it'll be a lot warmer because we're actually.
I apologize,
I
guys.
know, I'm just kidding. I'm
We were butchering the name.
Yeah, no, Riley's
Good
definitely
thing my
one
intro
to support the
sucked.
community, dude.
Shout out to Riley's Powersports in Haslett, Texas.